films even after losing a box. After a 5-mile walk around town, I never smell your socks. You hid movies from your folks and your mom hid them from your grandma. And a lot of the time that we hang out, you record it with your camera. Always have the strength to forgive when I hit you in the eye. You eat Chinese ramen, nachos, fish, even pizza pie. Standing tall with curly hair, leather jacket wrapped. Oh look, here he comes, the Million Film Almanac. Bobbly, 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 bellissimo. Bobbly, 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 bellissimo. Bobbly, bellissimo. Bobbly, bellissimo.
Hi, and welcome to Terribly Fun Films. Today, we're looking at the superhero-ish movie Armstrong at the request of the directors Harry Carlock and Nicholas Lund Ulrich, based on a story they came up with written by Nick Lufka. So if they're asking people to review the film, they probably have a decent amount of faith in their product and therefore want to spread the good word. Is that faith misplaced? Does the film work overall? Let's find out as I review Armstrong, aka Iron Arm. The plot of the movie follows two EMT ambulance drivers throughout the course of their shift. And it's the late shift, so it starts at like 10 p.m., 11 p.m., and goes through about 5 in the morning. Clearly it's not real time, so the movie's not 8 hours long. But that is the setup. So we follow these EMT drivers as they get calls to places where explosions just happened, fights broke out, that sort of thing. And they keep running into the same person who has this weird robotic-like arm thing. That is where the title comes from. As he goes around beating people up, and the question becomes, is he crazy? Is he actually trying to prevent the people he's beating up and the buildings that he's blowing up from attacking Los Angeles and bringing about the end of the world in their own delusional mind? Well, given that's a superhero movie, you can probably figure out the rest from there. That's all I will say. It does eventually involve a cult of some sort. That's a pretty fun idea in terms of how that gets utilized. And I enjoy the more low-key aspects of the plot. I like the idea of us following these ambulance drivers as they just sort of show up after a lot of the action takes place. Clearly it's a way to save money, but it also makes this feel very different from other low-budget superhero movies that I've seen. So that is refreshing, and the characterizations are pretty strong here. With Armstrong, again, the guy with the robotic arm, you'll see him on the cover and the poster and all that jazz, being the least fully realized of our three main characters. He has a reason for what he's doing. He has a goal to be accomplished. But outside of that, we don't really know much about him other than he basically turncoats on this cult and is trying to stop them. The other people we see in the cult swear to God that he's the crazy one. And I think that dichotomy works well, but is not explored as far as it could be, or as in as much depth as it should have been, for us to really feel for Armstrong. The two ambulance drivers are Lauren and Eddie, and they are very good. They each have very distinct personalities. They are each very interesting, empathetic, engaging people, and sometimes they make the wrong call. But within the circumstances of those things happening, You can understand why they did that, how they arrived at that conclusion, and things like that. We only have two other real main characters, if you will. Harbinger and Lady Harbinger. They're basically the big baddies. They come on screen, they're creepy, they're insane, they work very well. Again, a bit more about the cult and Armstrong's relationship to them and trying to get out from under them, and if the cult is actually planning to destroy Los Angeles, would have strengthened them a bit, but they're fun bad guys. They're enjoyable. The directing by Carey Carlock and Nicholas Lund Ulrich is really good. I was very impressed with this. The visual style of the movie, while you can tell it's low budget, it has a lot of creative and inventive shots, a lot of really interesting visual flair, be it in the set design, the costume design, or just the cinematography and the shots they went with. The movie looks really strong. I don't know if it quite overcomes all of its budgetary constraints, as the non-practical special effects, I should say, aren't that strong. The CGI, specifically some laser and fire effects near the end of the movie, look quite dodgy. Fire's dangerous. I get why you don't want real fire. A laser like the type we're talking about doesn't really exist in terms of being a gun cannon mounted to your arm. So I get why both of those things were CGI, but it does not work, sadly. But outside of those things, I think the movie has a strong visual style, and the format of the movie, following on the hour as we cut through the EMTs arriving at all these different scenes that Armstrong either caused or prevented or whatever, works very well in the movie's favor, giving it a sense of urgency. Jennifer Kez Remington's score is good. The main theme for the movie is fantastic. Outside of that, the score is perfectly suitable, if a bit predictable. I touched on this a little bit, but the cinematography by Amanda Treyes is really good. It looks very polished. It looks very clear. All the sequences are lit in a way that you can see what's going on, and you can follow all the action, and it is a lot of fun to do all that. Shannon Baker Davis's editing is also quite good. It is an action film of sorts, so you need a rhythm and that sort of thing, and they find one nice and early on, but just in terms of when we get action scenes, they're bold, they are fun, it works well in that regard. The costumers were Charlie Tigg and Amparo Maru, and this is where the film gets very inventive. The robot arm looks amazing. It looks really good. It moves very well. The body armor that the cult wears with their emblem right here on the chest is really cool. I really enjoyed this aspect. It fleshes out the world a little bit more than the script does. I really enjoyed that aspect of things. Lauren is played by Vicky Judy, and she does an excellent job. She's very empathetic, very easy to root for, very easy to relate to. Everything that Ricky sees and does, she makes 100% believable. Eddie, the other EMT, is Jason Antoon, and he's good. He's not quite as good in the action scenes as everybody else, but he has a real dramatic speech when he's sort of opening up to Lauren, that he calls Rookie for most, if not the entire film, about why he has this job, what he wants to accomplish out of life, and things like that, that he gets spot on. Armstrong is played by Sean Parsons, and he's good. He does a really excellent job in the action scenes, and he carries off the exposition-heavy dialogue he has when he first meets the EMTs very well. But as the movie gets further into its runtime, the narrative progresses, things get a little more dire. There are times where it kind of sounds like he's phoning it in, I guess, a bit board. They're going to use a defibrillator to charge the battery on the laser hand cannon arm thing, and it sounds like he's telling Lauren the instructions as if reading them off of an IKEA sheet, like for building furniture. There's no like sense of dire straits or sense that this could be it. If they mess up, bam, bad guys won type deal. That never is conveyed in his voice, sadly. But again, the action scenes we see him in, he's really strong, and he sells the crazy aspect well, but I just don't think he sells the dramatic aspect well, if that makes sense. Christian Anderson and Camille Chin play our two main bad people, respectively, and they're both good. They come onto the scene, and you just want to hate them. You can tell that they're having a lot of fun being bad guys and relishing the ridiculousness that they're saying. Finally, there's one other actor to discuss, and that's the radio host. The MPs listen to one radio program the entire time, and it's voiced by Kevin Pollak. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Kevin Pollak, the guy who played the president in Deterrence? Yes, that same Kevin Pollak. He's never on screen, but he is the radio host. It's just his voice, and he is a lot of fun there. He's kind of spouting off about the end of the world and apocalyptic stuff, so it feels a bit on the nose, but that's not his fault, and he does bring a lot of enthusiasm and joy to that role. If you like superhero movies, if you like low-budget action films, or you just want an engaging change of pace that is a nice way of killing 90 minutes, I do recommend the movie. Just be warned, it never quite reaches its full potential, but it still is a lot of fun. So, if Armstrong sounds like your cup of tea, it is currently available for streaming. You can buy it on DVD. I know at least Walmart carries it on DVD. I'm not sure about like Best Buy or Target or anything else like that. Or it might be on Hulu or Redbox or something like that, but it is out now. As always, I've been your host, Bobby. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.